Well, we left our homes up in Bristol Bay for the waters of Miami shore. With the hippo at the helm and our severance pay, we fly the pirate flag once more. Pirate radio with the ship and crew, we get wind in our sails and the sky is blue. There's a devil up our nose, so much work to do. Pirate radio. Well, the ship is a wreck, shit stains the deck as Michael hollers fellas make more. And Billy is a worry that he's got the scurvy, cause Chris ate all the limes in store. Pirate radio with the ship and crew, we get wind in our sails and the sky is blue. There's a devil up our nose, so much work to do. Pirate radio. Now Roy is a chum when he's on the rum, he's the glue when we spring a leak. And Stu is a mess, he does less and less, and Greg sounded worse each week. Pirate radio with the ship and crew, we get wind in our sails and the sky is blue. There's a devil up our nose, so much work to do. Pirate radio. Someone yelled ahoy, who the hell's cabin boy? Somebody named Tony, who knows? Once we got the skip, well, a mean jump ship, cause he knew we would sail to gold. Pirate radio with the ship and crew, we get wind in our sails and the sky is blue. There's a devil up our nose, so much work to do for the pirate radio.
Much as I identified as self-aware Lupica, you're the dangerous strain, and there are many of them around here, because certainly I know that Billy and Chris have tried this hat on for size, but the self-aware Stugotz is a mighty viral strain or the analytics savvy Stugotz is something that
Stugotz with information.
Hey, relax. I mean, you don't want too much of that, okay? It's not how you sculpt your craft. You know what I'm saying, Cortez? Information will kill you.
If you want some information, 6-0 in the last 6 is the latest update on the Miami Heat. I don't know if you heard that, Whittingham and Billy.
Boom!
It is 6-0 in their last 6 for the Miami Heat. But if I were playing devil's advocate, if I were still interested in being the urinator, okay, I've got a good story to be the urinator on. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler says he is not playing in the All-Star game as a protest, as basically a boycott of the All-Star game because Bam Adebayo was not welcome to the All-Star game. And the urinating I'm going to do on this is just asking you and the audience a single question. If Stugotz were an all-star who didn't want to play in the all-star game because he just played in the finals and he's tired, but he didn't want to look like LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard just saying publicly that he didn't want to say that he didn't want to play in the all-star game, how would he go about doing that in a way that would make Stugotz look like the best?
Exactly the way Jimmy did.
I mean, it was genius. I don't know if it's, I know he loves Bam, and I know he loves this team, and he loves all the guys on his team. But if you want to be cynical about it, good Lord, I'd get a marketing team. The amount of money around these guys is so great, Stugotz, that a marketing team pays for itself by simply telling him, hey, Jimmy, do this. Just do this. You want the time off? Just do this.
Yeah. There was a pitch meeting, right, where this was among the pitches of, hey, Jimmy, we know you don't want to go to the All-Star game, but let's come up with some ideas. We'll have 3 or 4 to present to you, and this was option A.
Well, that was option A. Option B was also when Jimmy piped up and said, well, what if Bam makes the All-Star team? Well, then we do it for Tyler Hero.
You run out of options after Bam, don't you?
you do, but was anyone applying?
Gabe Vincent.
Was anyone? Look, he's a glue guy. I think he should be in the All-Star game.
He had a great strip of Trae Young last night.
What do you think, though? Which way are you? Heat homer, Heat propagandist is always going to believe the purity of it. But if you're the cynic, the sports radio cynic like Stugotz, you can apply that urination to it, and it's funny.
I was offended that they went to Jimmy Butler first. Jimmy Butler does not deserve to be an all-star this year based off of this regular season. I believe they're taking, obviously, last year's finals run into account. But if there's an all-star on this roster, it's not Jimmy Butler, it is Bam Adebayo. I'm kind of offended they didn't ask Bam Adebayo first. Now that's a story. Bam Adebayo saying, I'm not going to be an all-star if Jimmy Butler's not an all-star.
Guillermo, put it on the poll, please. Are you ever offended by an all-star game snub?
Yes, I am. Do you know who got in?
I know
Do you know who
are.
got in?
I know
Do you know who got in?
I wasn't asking you. I'm
Stugotz.
asking the audience.
Do you know who got in?
No, tell me. who
No.
got in.
I'm asking you to tell me who got in.
I have no idea who got in.
Sabonis.
What?
Sabonis from Indiana.
He's been good this year.
Yeah, okay. How good? Do you know his first name? Do you? I'm asking
It starts
you.
with a D.
It does start with a D.
does.
It's
Hold on a
D.
second.
Sabonis. How do you pronounce his first name?
It's not Dante.
No, it's not.
There's an S at the end.
There's an N somewhere in there. There's an M.
Arvidas Jr.
Very myopic.
The defense rest.
What do you mean the defense
The
rest?
defense
Wait a
rest.
minute. There are plenty of people who can't pronounce Adebayo. Colin Cowherd
No.
can't pronounce Adebayo.
No, he couldn't pronounce Adebayo. Now he can because of the finals run. No one knows Sabonis' first name. No
How
one.
many people can't pronounce Giannis's name correctly?
Another good one.
Yeah, but people know that it's Greek Freak.
Yeah, but this is last name. We're talking first name. With Bam, it's Bam.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
I made my point.
Right.
Okay, so Sabonis should be in. Sabonis shouldn't be in, and all the Heat and Gabe Vincent should be. Is that your point?
Yes.
Yes, that's your general
Yes,
point.
based off of like the rules that I outlined.
What happened, Chris? What are you mouthing over there?
Gabe Vincent. I don't know what you did.
That is,
Just
I said
sounded
Gabe.
odd.
I said Gabe Vincent.
Zoom can be tricky, as last night's Golden Globes proved evident.
Let's talk about that for a second.
That was amazing.
we have
The
to?
first speech of the night. I thought that was art. Like, I forget his name, the actor, but he's speaking, he's giving his speech, and then he's on mute. Just perfect.
Daniel Kaluuya is his name.
That guy.
Thank you, Whittingham. And there in a capsule is the difference between Chris Cody and Chris Whittingham. And if we were going
You
to
didn't know that guy's name either, Dan. I'll pull a mic right here.
Daniel
What's his first name?
He should have been an NBA All-Star.
Daniel Kaluuya is actually Sabonis' first name.
What were the highlights of the Golden Globes? Obviously, Sudeikis being dressed the way that Sudeikis was dressed, giving a speech that was very Ted Lasso. Hey, we didn't talk about this out here, and I'm simply curious because I had a funny reaction. I generally don't care about the celebrity gossip stuff, but when Olivia Wilde leaves Jason Sudeikis and photographs are being taken and she is moving her stuff into the home of Harry Styles, and all of that is happening. Did any of you feel bad for Ted Lasso? Not Sudeikis. Not Sudeikis. I did not. I felt bad. Like, how could you do that to Ted Lasso? And I'm like, what about his Harry Styles? Well, you see what's on his face.
Well, because he's filming Ted Lasso.
He's got Harry Styles on his face.
Yeah.
Now you have Harry Styles on your face.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We don't know what's going on.
No,
there.
but I'm saying the paparazzi of it felt like very ancient in terms, like, I feel like, I'm probably wrong about this, because TMZ has many arms, tentacles, and everyone with a camera is paparazzi. But it seemed to me that paparazzi was less of a thing than it used to be when, we were ruining Britney Spears' life because magazines wanted $100,000 photos of Britney Spears.
What's happening with that story, I think, to a lot of people is a lot of people have just made Jason Sudeikis Ted Lasso, to your point. Because my heart was breaking for Ted Lasso, the character. Because I'm like, no, this is why. If there is light at the end of the tunnels, I know that Ted is going to have a positive outlook on all of this, right? That's what the overriding feeling is. But how could you? Ted Lasso is such a perfect man, Olivia. How could you?
What were the other highlights for you guys from the Golden Globes? Did Sound of Metal? Sound of Metal is the best movie I've seen in a year. I don't know if it won anything, but I haven't had a movie. I don't know if I've ever had a movie crawl around in my skin the way that one did. You might not like it if you don't like an uncomfortable movie experience, because this movie is deeply uncomfortable and it's uncomfortably deep. And I just didn't think I've seen anything, but not that I've seen everything, but I didn't see anything better than that over the course of the year. Did it do well? Like, who cleaned up last night?
I actually stopped watching after Ted Lasso was robbed by Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
It's just not that show. I just didn't find that show very funny. I gave up on it, though. I know a lot of people stuck
You
with it.
gave up on Schitt's Creek?
Yeah, it just wasn't. I saw an
lot of
entire
people
season.
did.
I saw an
Yeah.
entire season. I'm just like, this is nice, but it's just not for me.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Did you give up on Schitt's Creek? Yes or no?
Season 2 is where it gets good. I've told Mike that. It's tough. The first season is kind of the worst.
I'll probably get around to it. I was happy for Sudeikis. I was also confused by his acceptance speech that, let's just say, the tie-dye sweater was apropos, given what I saw. And
Why did you have to clean that up? He seemed high.
Yeah, that's exactly what that. See, in the 70s, hippies used to wear tie-dye, and they used to smoke a lot of pot.
But I mean, you're making a 60-year-old reference for being high.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to come out with the accusations. I already feel like we've pried around his personal life way too much of this hour.
Maybe that's why she left him for Harry Styles. He was up in the drugs too much.
Harry Styles.
Old Ted Lasso.
Harry Styles is quite a catch, though. I think if Harry Styles started making moves on me, I'd leave Cynthia. I swear to God.
Put it on the poll.
Would you really?
Put it on the poll, Guillermo. If
on.
Harry Styles started making moves on you, would you leave your significant other?
Sudeikis did not seem to like Don Cheadle's wrap it up joke at the end because he went on forever, and Don Cheadle gave him one of these when the camera was on him. It's like the wrap it up sign.
Yeah,
and he did not like that.
I did enjoy the secret access that we got to right before. I loved how they tossed the breaks because everyone that's nominated gets in a Zoom and exchanges pleasantries, and they just sort of wait around together talking to each other. And you could tell Al Pacino just had his mic muted the entire time. He had no time to actually say hello to anybody else. These awkward, forced moments. And you realize that no matter how cool you think Colin Farrell is, you can't appear cool off of a Zoom.
The stuff with Pacino is great, right? Where you're realizing more and more every day that he's 80 years old, but he doesn't have the hair of an 80-year-old, so it's a bit confusing.
I love the delay that we were on with the Zoom where they would be showing the nominees as their names were being heard. So they would be clapping for the previous nominee, but then the camera was on them as they wanted to stop clapping for themselves. So we got to see them clapping for the previous name read and then stopping awkwardly because they didn't want to be clapping for themselves.
I also enjoyed the woman from Schitt's Creek. I did do a Dan lesson. I was watching some of it with the sound off, but I believe that the woman from Schitt's Creek, while I believe giving her acceptance speech for winning Best Actress in a Comedy, was I believe talking into a phone, and that's what was being transmitted onto television because the person sitting next to her was holding a phone while she was giving the acceptance speech. I think they couldn't figure out how to connect to audio, and this was like the backup plan.
I'd leave my wife for Tony.
I'm watching and wonder how Catherine O'Hara has become the lady from Schitt's Creek. She's had an amazing career. She's not the lady from Best in Show. She's not the lady from Home Alone. She's not the lady from Beetlejuice. She's the lady from Schitt's Creek now.
It's like Richard Jefferson. Richard Jefferson he played with LeBron for a couple of years. Like, not only is he a great broadcaster,
right.
He was in the finals, and he was like he was one of the best players on one of the best teams over 10 years with Vince Carter. And you just think of him as, kind of got scared. Do we have that sound, or is that illegal sound to play? The Richard Jefferson just basically admitting that he was scared during the finals and just standing around watching during plays that were important because he knew he wasn't involved in them, and he was just sort of scared, so he didn't think to go for a rebound or anything. He's like, man, I'm in the middle of a big moment here.
Don't want to get in the way.
But isn't that what you associate Richard Jefferson with? Because he's become a very good broadcaster. He's also very funny. He's looser. Like, God, it's so nice. It is so nice, Stugotz, to see a new generation of broadcasters and athlete broadcasters say, oh, wait, I don't have to do it the way that this has always been done. I don't have to stiffly fit in this box with a tie and just give straight analysis and then the occasional clever quip that will get fake laughter. I could just be myself. And I can make pop culture references like Richard Jefferson is doing. Although I do believe, did we have the moment in a game this weekend where he referred to somebody as Dame Dollar and then got the white guy's correction of it doesn't end in an R? Isn't that something that it's not Dame Dollar? I believe that happened to Richard Jefferson.
You're throwing a lot of Richard Jefferson stuff at me right now. I'm just
and how are we supposed to verify
on.
all of this? I mean, I'll look it up.
No, let me ask you a different question.
Dame
Chris,
Dollar.
what else did you like from the Golden Globes? What were the other things? You want to become our Golden Globes correspondent as you now grow in your career as an interviewer? Who's your next interview going to be after the big John Skipper interview? You came out of the box very strong with your first. You did better in one episode than I did in 4. Who's your next interview going to be with?
I don't know. I mean, I was thinking maybe Obama. Like, I got to aim high. You can't really, the ladder has to keep going up. I can't go down on the ladder. But I'm just listening to this sound, and he does say Dame Dollar with an R at the end, and he does get corrected, and it's pretty funny.
I do have that sound of the NBA Finals, Dan, that you referenced, courtesy of the Players Tribune.
I'm sitting on the bench watching the play, and I see the fast break, and I was like, oh. And all of a sudden, because I'm watching the head of the play, and this is not an exaggeration, I'm watching this thing happening, and all of a sudden I see a black blur go out of nowhere. And I was like, oh, just blocked that. And I was like, oh, we have a chance. And so we make a timeout, we make a sub. I check into the game, and at first I'm in the strong side corner where Kyrie shot the ball. So Bron clears me out, and I was like, good, because I want no part of this. Right? So they clear me out. They take me to the other, I go to the other corner, right? And so my thing in the corner, I'm like, okay, well, when this shot goes up, go for the offensive rebound. If you don't think you get it, you got to bust your back. Like, that's my process. Like I tell you, I'm thinking all this stuff and what I need to do. Shot goes up and I just stand there. I don't go offensive rebound. I don't get back. I'm just like, oh, he's shooting a three. Oh, that went in. Like again, like these are like the same reactions that fans have and that the media has. That's the same reaction we have. Like I see Kyrie Irving dribbling over there, and I'm like, okay, Kai. I was like, first of all, they cleared me out, and I was like, thank God, because if my man went to go double and they threw the ball, I don't know what I was gonna die. I might have made a shot, I might have dunked it, I might have dribbled off my foot. I don't know.
I love that.
Are you guys Tribune guys or Tribune guys?
Tribune.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Le Batard Show. Tribune or Tribune? Let's get to some sound here involving Mike Russo. I do want to get back, I want to get back to the Miami Heat in a second and the local hour in a second, but I don't want to go much more show without talking about your beloved Chris Russo. I called him Mike, I think.
Yeah, it's a $5 fine.
What if I fix it? I thought if I fixed it before you got in there.
Well, his real name is Mad Dog. So
okay, so Mad Dog. I want you to hear the initial source of the controversy from Mad Dog Radio, because Mad Dog. There are a lot of people, and we are included among them here. When I say me and Stugotz, where the aging on the radio and the way things are moving, the speed with which things are moving, are catching up to the old people and biting us on the ass, because everything in the world is moving very fast technologically. And then beyond that, during the pandemic, it's been fast forwarded. So, Stugotz, as we get to this Chris Russo sound, I want to tell you sort of an alarming moment of real-time aging that I saw, sort of like The Matrix, crystal clear. That's an old movie reference, The Matrix.
Sean Marion.
While I was in Whole Foods, I'm in Whole Foods, and I'm standing there, and they've decided after a couple of different years, I don't know when this decision got made, but I've been going to this Whole Foods, and it has looked a certain way for a certain number of years now. I would say 5 to 7 years.
Oh, boy. They changed it up.
Well, not only did they change it up, though, they changed it up with a whole lot more express, do-it-yourself, get out, no cashier. But this isn't the part where I saw aging most clearly in a way that legitimately frightened me, and it wasn't even about my own mortality. It's that I'm standing there, and so I'm noticing this first, and I'm like, oh, I've got my discomfort. I don't like change in my familiar. What just happened here? Why is it different? And then I keep scanning the premises, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Look at that. A lot more scanners than cashiers, but some of the scanners who don't want to wait in the other line, they're getting help from the employees who don't seem to realize that these robots are replacing them. They're just helping for now to guide this transition. The humans that are coming over to help the people who can't figure out the self-checkout thing. But this is the part where I noticed, and I was like, oh, shit. Everybody in the cashier's line was old, and everybody in the self-checkout was young, and the old line had less help. Why? Because those people are going to die soon, and we just don't need to worry about them too much. Let's pour our resources into checkout over here.
Mike, come self-checkout for me.
He FaceTimed me.
It was terrifying. Is it wrong that I don't like where we've arrived during a pandemic where I'm simply afraid. You know how much I like food. I'm simply afraid to go to the grocery store. And then I get there and the pandemic has fast forwarded the entire economy.
It happened to me at my local drugstore, man. Now, we have a lady
and then they don't know when I hand them cash what it is. They look at it and they don't know what it is.
We have a lady who works at the CVS in my town. She's very aware that the robots are there to replace her. She bashes the robots. She calls everyone over to the counter. I'll help you out with a smile, a thank you. I'll hand you your receipt. She's bashing the computers, and I love her dearly. I really do.
That should be the move, right? Like, point and laugh at the robots. And if someone calls you over, like, I'm having trouble with self-checkout, just like, call the robot boss. I don't know, not me.
Have you guys ever gotten into an argument with the self-checkout machine where you're like, I'm not going to put it in the bag, okay? What do you care where I put this thing once it's scanned, as long as it's scanned?
Is it like Indiana Jones where it needs weight distribution and you're trying to get the idol off?
Some places it freaks out. It's like put the item in the bag. It's like, I only have 2 items. I'd like to carry them out. It's like, please put it in the bag.
Right. And also sometimes you take like more than 10 items. Am I supposed to put them all in one bag and not remove them? This process makes no sense.
It castigates you for not putting it in the bag like your mom would. It's really weird. It is, but I don't think you can leave without putting it in the bag, Chris. I'm serious. Like, I don't think it's going to stop talking to you.
As I'm walking away, it's like, please put it in the bag.
You need one of the old people that's going to be obsolete to help you out.
They have these put it in the bag instructions at Home Depot, and I'm carrying a 2x4. How the am I going to put this in the bag?
Stugotz here. I love telling you about ZipRecruiter. Been supporting me, Dan, the entire show for many, many years. We appreciate them. And listen, the best teams start with great talent, but finding the right people can be a challenge. But when it comes to hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter can help you find the right candidates for your team fast. From healthcare to manufacturing to business services and more. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Dan. When you post a job on ZipRecruiter, it gets sent out to over 100 top job sites with one click. Then ZipRecruiter's matching technology scans thousands of resumes and profiles to send you the most qualified people for your job. If you're really interested in a candidate, simple. You invite them to apply for your job. With one click, ZipRecruiter sends them an email from you, and you stand out from the competition. It's so effective that 4 to 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. And right now, to try ZipRecruiter for free, my listeners can go to ZipRecruiter.com/Dan. That's ZipRecruiter.com/DAN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Dan. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
I haven't gotten over Dan talking speaking well about a movie while saying it's crawled around his skin. Like, that is not something I want from a movie experience. It crawling around my skin for weeks afterward.
Why?
I'm telling you, though, that movie does. I saw it based on Dan's recommendation, and it's an accurate way to describe that. It was a very unsettling viewing experience. It does stay with you.
I would suggest to anybody listening to this, and many of you have seen it, it's an excellent movie. It's got some of that word of mouth. But if you don't like, as your movie experience, to be made uncomfortable or think about things that are deeply uncomfortable, I would not watch this movie, because I thought that it was exceptional for a number of different reasons, but one of them was the degree of difficulty in, oh, wow, you made something really beautiful here. You made a work of art out of horror, out of, I don't want to give away too much, but this is in the title. You made a work of art about descending into deafness when you've had hearing. And just a movie about a lot of different things. A movie about life, a movie about codependency, a movie about addiction, a movie about stillness and the mind as a poison, and noise, and God, and I just recommend it strongly. Mike, have you seen a better movie over the last year? Like, if I told you you had to pick an award, you can only pick one movie from the last year. Is there something you've seen that's better than Sound of Metal? And Chris, I want to get back to you on you just don't want to see it when I'm describing it as uncomfortably deep and deeply uncomfortable.
In terms of standard movie, Amy Poehler had such a great line in the Golden Globes, like a movie now, because the lines are blurred, especially during the pandemic and how we consume things. It's like, it's weird. I'd rather sit in front of my TV and watch a 1-hour episode for 5 hours at a time than commit to a 2-hour movie. It's just one of those things
That's
that you
happened
avoid.
to me.
Yeah, so I for whatever reason, I've been avoiding movies. So I haven't seen many of the nominated films, but out of the ones that I have, this was my favorite in that it stayed with me. I really like the performances, and just from a filmmaking aspect, to convey deafness and what somebody goes through throughout that entire process, it makes you feel horrible. Obviously, it goes without saying, none of us ever want to be deaf. I just thought that would be a very difficult thing to translate into a film, and they found a way to do it.
Stugotz, I have never seen a movie, never once, not any movie I've ever seen, that used sound this way and used silence this way. Both sound and silence. I don't know if they give awards for that sort of stuff, whether they have a category. It seems like a very
Best use of silence.
Best use of sound.
Yeah, there's sound mixing in the Academy Awards. There's going to be sound mixing categories, and I imagine Sound of Metal is going to come away with a lot of it because it was a really ambitious project and they pulled it off.
Well, I wanted to ask you, though, I wanted to ask Chris this question because I believe that there is the chance, and maybe this, look, I don't mean to suggest that this movie isn't getting word of mouth, because it is. A lot of people were affected by it, moved by it. But I do believe it is much harder to get one of those awards or get that kind of popular Tiger King word of mouth when something is uncomfortable, because it's not what people want from the movies, Chris. So you're saying the way I described that makes you not want to see it?
I was half kidding about taking literal about a movie crawling around in my skin. But in general, I would say, I'm now going to watch this movie. You've intrigued me enough that I will check it out. But in general, I'm kind of like Stugotz. I don't need, my life altered by watching a movie. I'm down to just entertain me, make me laugh.
Yep, Last Dance is good enough for me.
Billy, have you had that experience during the pandemic? Because I'm not sure that's pandemic related. I believe that is Netflix and streaming related, where you're more interested in a 5-part docuseries on something by way of investment than you are in just watching a 2-hour movie, because I have found it interesting. And I know some of you have noticed recently that sometimes I ask questions and then don't get the answer from the person I'm asking and accuse me of yammering. But sometimes the Zoom freezes and I just end up keep talking because I have to, because I was asking Billy a question and he remains frozen. But Mike, I think you're absolutely right that is something.
I'm here.
Okay, you're not moving in the Zoom, but I can hear you. So has that happened to you?
Yeah, I guess. Why not watch 5 parts instead of a 2-hour movie? I'll binge a bunch of 30-minute episodes of something before I watch a 3-hour movie. Please wrap it up. 3 hours is ridiculous. I don't need 3 hours of anything in my life unless it's like 3 hours broken up into 12 small. Well, I guess it would be 6 small if it's 30-minute episodes. Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Isn't a baseball game 3 hours?
Don't you like baseball?
Oh, please. You think I'd sit down and watch 3 straight hours of baseball? You're out of your mind.
What do? You just wander around?
Oh, I change the channel. I'll put it on mute. I'll walk around. I'll check in and out. Yeah, that's the beauty about baseball. You don't need to watch the entire baseball game, all right? We've moved past that point.
The problem with
baseball. You don't
baseball.
need to watch the whole game, yeah. You look up, you see the scores change. You're like, ooh, let me rewind a little bit. And you rewind, you catch up. Oh, that's how they got the run. Okay, fast forward 2 hours ahead. Nothing's happened. Good, I caught up. Baseball.
Mike, where's that Mad Dog sound? Let's give the audience the context it needs for the Mad Dog sound. Stugotz, for those of you who do not know, he grew up emulating Mad Dog. Mike and the Mad Dog are sports radio pioneers. They practically invented the medium or popularized it in New York. And when New York popularizes something, they claim to have invented it. So Mad Dog has become a bit of a caricature of himself late in life. He should have never split up from Mike Francesa, a lesson learned by me and Stugotz. Stugotz decided I'm going to be the Chris Mad Dog Russo character on steroids, making fun of myself. What are you pointing at, Mike?
Skeptical Billy.
What happened with Skeptical Billy?
One of them's still on the air, one of them isn't. And it's not Mike Francesa that's still on the air.
That's a good point. Russo made a lot of money. Sirius XM.
You guys think it was a good idea for them to break up?
They were better together, but I think from a financial standpoint, I think that's what Russo was going for, and he got it.
They both secured their bags.
But they were better together, and it ruined the show.
Mm-hmm. It ended the show, That would effectively ruin the show, but they got their bags.
Wait a minute, you can do that? Because I can get a bag. You can do that? I can get a bag right now.
Yeah.
Just me. I can wander out and get a bag. We can do that?
Wait, do you think you can make more money with Stugotz weighing you down or by yourself?
That's allowed? You could just break up with the partner you love who has made everything with you and then just run away and do something else for yourself?
Lord knows I've tried.
Well, it's tricky because you guys actually love each other. They don't.
Well, here's Chris Russo, and here's the initial sound, the culprit, we might say. Let's hear the initial sound from Sirius XM. This is Mad Dog Radio.
Lots to do. Louis Rojas is next. We continue here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Back right after this.
All right, so this is, I'm sorry, the MLB Network. Yes, Chris is happy. He is dancing. Chris Cody, you really do.
Yeah.
Let's play that one more time because, again, the fart allegation was strong from the internet and everyone watching MLB Network.
Lots to do. Louis Rojas is next. We continue here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Back right after this.
The cough that results in a fart. I mean,
right. If the cough wasn't there, you could make the argument it was a chair, but right after a cough, I mean, come on.
Okay, but
we've all been there.
Okay, all right. Put it on the Paul Guillermo at Le Batard show. Have we all been there? The fart after a cough, or the fart because you're coughing.
Have we all been there?
I'm embarrassed to say that happened in front of my wife the other day in a way that made me uncomfortable. But it was the fart after a sneeze, which is even it's
even rare.
It's even worse.
I can't even imagine. That's close to spontaneous combustion, I think.
So let's play. So there was a tweet from a Tom Izzo, not the Tom Izzo, on Twitter. And Mad Dog, because we old people can be fooled by such things. We old people who sneeze and then fart can be fooled by fake accounts on Twitter. Here's Tom Izzo on Twitter, who wasn't the actual Tom Izzo, and Mad Dog defending himself.
I'm getting a little mileage out of this with the so-called fart yesterday on the air when I was doing that 1 hour show on February 25th that never goes away. It was blowing my nose. It wasn't a fart, but Tom Izzo has just retweeted that, and Tom said it still could have been a fart. So there you go. So we're going to thank you, Funhouse. Nice job by Funhouse from that standpoint. We can use all the publicity we can get from that. So the fart that wasn't is a big topic now.
Yes, it is.
In Michigan. Michigan State's winning games. I was going to kill Tom and say, how about winning some ball games? They won some, so they can have shot. Plus, my kid wants to be a basketball coach, and he's run into Izzo once or twice. Maybe Tom will hire him in 5 years. So I got to be nice. So there you go from that standpoint.
I love that his mind works exactly like that. How do I pivot to maximum Mad Dog by accusing him of winning some more games? Why don't you focus on winning some more games, Coach? Oh, he's winning. Damn it.
Then easing up because his son wants to be a basketball coach.
Yeah, maximum Stugotz. You see why Stugotz wanted to be that person. I love the journalistic responsibility and accountability of Mad Dog Russo in referring to it as the so-called fart. I think that is a strong phrase to put in front of the fart, as he pronounces it.
The fart.
Well, the next day, guys, on his show, High Heat, which he called Mad Dog Unleashed when he teased we'll be back on Mad Dog Unleashed, which is not the name of his show on MLB Network. But when he did it the next day on the show, he had them release the raw tapes of him to show that he, in fact, was blowing his nose.
Oh, wow. So he proved he didn't like the accusations, and he went excessive with the proof.
Or he faked the whole thing the next day. Wow, right. Dan. I don't want to fall off this chair.
Let's play the initial sound because I just want to, again, enjoy wrapping up the whole Richard Jefferson conversation I've inundated you with on a Monday. I want you to now imagine that Richard Jefferson, who was always a fun basketball player, talkative, outspoken, colorful, that Richard Jefferson gets into a broadcast booth and has to fit within the rigidities of broadcasting because there's a certain standard of excellence that when you're going to a break, you need to do it professionally with something broadcaster sportsy, just like, for example, Mad Dog from Mad Dog Radio.
Lots to do. Louis Rojas is next. We continue here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Back right after this.
How do you leave the sound up on him coughing and then sneeze farting or fart sneezing or blowing his nose? Like, how is the sound still up on that with happy music?
It's a betrayal by his producers. You have to protect your aging superstar because occasionally they're going to cough fart.
Mike has been calling me Pujols for 3 years.
A cart. Stugotz here. Let's take a minute for my friends at Advance Auto Parts, our friends at Advance Auto Parts. Listen, Dan and I ask the bare minimum. That's what we ask of you, the audience, okay? Take care of the people who support this show, who get the show, and Advance Auto Parts has been supporting this show for years now, and they get the show, and they have truly become friends with me, Dan, the shipping container, the entire Le Batard show crew. We love them. We love them, so take good care of them. Why? Because they take good care of us, because they get the show, because I'm telling you to. How about that? Have you heard about their advanced same-day offers? Amazing. Get this. Advance offers free curbside pickup and free in-store pickup within 30 minutes on most in-stock products. 30 minutes. That's the kind of speed that gets you back on the road with the parts you need fast. So head to your Advance Auto Parts store today. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Deshaun Watson, with many, many retweets, Stugotz, writes, loyalty is everything. Don't you ever forget it. I love that. Love it.
What do you think he means by that?
I have no idea what he's talking about. I genuinely do not know who he's referring to, but it doesn't matter, right? You just got to love it.
A bunch of crazy things. Say something every couple of days. Throw people off your scent. I mean,
loyalty is everything. Don't you ever forget it. I believe he capitalized the ever as reports come out that they are not moving him off his position, that he will not ever play for the Houston Texans again. To me, and I love this, Stugotz, because I want anarchy. I don't like that the corporations are winning. I don't like some of the stuff that we're talking about here where you've just seen, and I'm guilty too, because I didn't see what was happening as Aaron Rodgers was screaming, hey, the middle class is going to get eaten up here, and the union is being betrayed. Like, Stugotz, in America's most popular sport, in plain sight, the NFL Players Union, America's most popular sport, was being run by anti-union lawyers.
Crazy.
And it wasn't something that was being reported and talked about. And then you got some real backroom dealing that ended up with the old guys getting to win again, the old rich guys getting to win again with 10-year contracts that we're not used to seeing. But in this time, Stugotz, as we are talking about how much power the individual athlete has, and we're doing the documentaries on the guys who made it so, Tom Brady, the 7-part documentaries, Michael Jordan, Derek Jeter, Tiger Woods, real deep dives into the guys who made all this so. I heard a great story this weekend, and I've heard it before. The podcast, is it All the Smoke with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson?
Yeah, All the Smoke.
They put together stories told independently. It's just such great video. And Stugotz, you're going to love this. In the era of The Last Dance, a very popular documentary. So Isaiah Ryder, you remember him, a badass from another time.
JR.
Isaiah Ryder is at the head of the Timberwolves, and he's telling the story from his perspective, and they are splicing in Kevin Garnett.
The T-Wolves, KG.
They are splicing in Kevin Garnett
The big ticket.
Talking to J.R. Ryder about a story in Kevin Garnett's early career. And it was so much fun to listen to these guys tell this story, which is Isaiah Ryder is quiet. He's playing against Michael Jordan, and he's having a very good game through three quarters.
MJ.
And through the three quarters of the game, Isaiah Ryder is not a player who says a lot. And Kevin Garnett, who is young, walks up to Isaiah Ryder while he's next to Michael Jordan and starts saying loud enough for Michael Jordan to hear, yeah, you're cooking this guy. You're going to cook him. Cook him. Keep cooking him. He ain't got nothing for you. You're too strong for him. And Isaiah Ryder's thinking to himself, please shut the hell up. And he's looking at Michael, and both of them are looking at KG. Yeah, young puppy, young rook doesn't know any better. Like Isaiah Ryder and Michael are talking, and then Kevin Garnett and Isaiah Ryder start telling the story of, and then it seemed like we were only on defense. And he scored like 17 points, and we went from down 2 to down 25. And I'm on the bench, and because all we're doing is playing defense, Garnett is like doing the story of breathing hard. He's like, I'm sorry, dog. I'm sorry. He's like apologizing to J.R. Ryder and saying, I will never talk that way again to Michael Jordan. They both knew it was coming because it's a bad Timberwolves team and a bored champion Bulls team that's just rolling through town on the way to the next championship. And Isaiah Ryder had, 30 through three quarters. And the way they told the story was so perfect.
I love them playing defense for the entire quarter.
That's the way Garnett told the story. And he just goes to the bench breathing. He's like, I don't even understand how it happened. It was just sort of rebound, defense, defense, defense.
I marvel at Jordan. Just like, it's the same thing I'm doing with LeBron right now. I did it again last night. I'm having this weird appreciation all of a sudden for LeBron James, who on a Sunday night, Dan, when no one's really paying attention, why that game against the Warriors, who had won, I think, 5 straight headed into the game last night, why he cares so deeply about Game 37, Sunday night, regular season, after doing this for 17 years, and he put up a phenomenal first half, hit a big shot at the end of the half, and had 19 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 3 threes. He treats every game like it's Game 7 of the damn NBA Finals.
I have told you, Stugotz, that I don't understand why it is we have spent the last decade finding the ways, all of the many, many ways. You just did it, and you just did it. He's not Ali. All the many, many ways that he's not some greatest thing ever I have seen. Like, we do it all the time. So you can, what are you doing there? You're marveling at it in one segment, and you're making fun. Do more in the other.
Well, I'm just saying it's easy to come back at Zlatan like that without, when you're picking and choosing the things that you want to talk about. I mean, talk about defend everyone is basically.
But again, what are you doing with him? You're doing the same thing with him that we're not. He is great at all of the things that he is doing, activism and everything else. Like Stugotz, he was helping with voter suppression.
No, I know.
Like he did meaningful things during a turbulent time in America that was money put where the mouth is. And what Zlatan says, like we could go back and forth about it, but he's telling LeBron to stick to sports. Okay, that's the exceptional position of privilege to want LeBron James to stick to sports because you're not the subject of voter suppression.
No, he's doing things off the court, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for him for doing it that Michael Jordan was unwilling to do. Just never did when he was playing. Certainly never did any of it.
We don't need to talk about him anymore. I just marvel at the fact that we have spent a lot of time as American sports fans tearing down over the last decade the deficiencies of what will be regarded 30 years from now. You'll tell your grandkids, yeah, I saw that dude play, and this current iteration of Lorenzen Ball, the kid who came from that Ball family, descended from Grandpa Lonzo, or which one? Grandpa LeVar?
LaMelo Ball? Is that
well, no, I'm going lower. I'm going to the grandson of LaMelo Ball. When you're going to tell that punk, oh, I saw the best. It wasn't Michael Jordan. It was LeBron James.
I guess what I'm doing, like, he's 36 years old, 17 years, 10 NBA Finals, won 4 championships. Kevin Durant is hurt. Kyrie Irving is always resting. I mean, all these guys are always taking nights off, and there's LeBron, never taking a night off. caring about Game 37 the way he does about Game 5 of the NBA Finals, and I'm having a weird appreciation for him towards the end of his career.
It won't last. It won't last.
You're probably right.
It won't last for you. Billy, explain to me this thing that you and Mike have gotten into with this NBA Topshot, because I still don't understand it. Currency is
stupid.
Okay.
That's the explanation. It's stupid. It's this fad. It's the latest thing where people with money are just wasting their money buying video clips that they don't even own, and then they're trying to resell these clips. They'll get in lines of thousands of people. It's just, listen to me. If you buy these Top Shots now, sell them now. Because in 2 weeks, there's going to be some other fad with some Pokemons doing this and that, and then you're going to be going on to that, and you're going to be venturing into the stock market. Don't waste your money on these things. Just like this person that bought this Luka actual real card, because these are these digital video highlight cards now. Someone bought a Luka Doncic card for $4.6 million that was autographed. You wasted your money, person, okay? Because that card is never going to be worth more than $4.6 million. I'm just letting you know that right now. Same thing with these little videos. This is a trend. This is a fad. Get out while you still can, because what's going to happen is in 3 weeks, you're just going to have a bunch of GIFs and zips and these files and those files of all these little cards that are completely worthless, and you're going to realize you just wasted all of your time and all of your money on buying videos that, by the way, you don't even own, that I could watch for free on YouTube. Is that what you wanted to hear about?
I'm going to be rich with this.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I already
First
evaluated.
it was AMC, now it's this.
I already evaluated the net worth of my account. You can look this stuff up. I'm rolling in the dough right now. And Dan, this is the beta version. I was one of the lucky few that got not one but 2 packs over the weekend. Premium pack. That's right. Your boy got a Dame Dollar, a Trey Young.
Did you just put an R on dollar as well?
Is that not what you're supposed to do? Richard Jefferson told me so. And a rare Thomas Satoransky assist. That they were only made 499 versions of this. I'm not even sure I pronounced his last name correctly, but it says it's rare on the video, so I believe it. And I understand why it seems silly, because you could YouTube this highlight for free, but you can also Google image Luka Doncic, right? You can look at those photos. Why does a trading card have value?
You can touch it.
Well, I mean, I think that's a pretty crude way of doing this. It has a value because people tell us it has a value, because it's a rare commodity. Same thing with these things. They're individually numbered. The lower the serial number, the better it is. Here's where I do tend to agree with Billy that this is going to be a passing fad. However, since we're still in the beta testing portion of this NBA Topshot, there are more NBA fans in China than there are people in the United States. So I'm holding on to these until China gets in the game, because I want to see what kind of money China has. And I may have spent $800 on an Obi Toppin 3-pointer, because rumor has it, Dan, Obi Toppin's going to be in the slam dunk contest. And if Obi Toppin's in the slam dunk contest and he wins the thing, your boy is sitting on his daughter's college tuition money.
Sell them. Do you remember Quibi? No, you don't. Because it lasted 6 minutes and it raised like $10 billion or something to start. It had like 3,000 new shows on it and it's already dead. Sell them.
This is not Quibi. I don't understand. I already got in on the waiting list.
Get out.
You're relying on Obi Toppin, Mike.
For the UFC version of this.
Okay? Oh, my God.
Yeah. It's the same company behind it. And everything's going great. No. I'm diversifying my portfolio. My problem is if I went all in on AMC, but I'm wise. I've mixed up my portfolio.
Nothing from
AMC? I wish I got nothing. I'm like down $3,000 on AMC.
No, I'm saying, did you learn nothing?
Well, you'll make it up on Obi Toppin.
I did. I learned that I needed to diversify my portfolio, which is why I'm sitting on a crypto empire. I'm a real estate mogul, as
for crypto.
Yeah, as I told all of you guys, I'm currently, my $6,000 is funding approximately 40,000 real estate ventures across the United States.
That all fun rise?
Yeah.
All right.
You'll be happy to know I made 75 cents this weekend off of it.
You'll be happy to know I got him on the air for us.
All right, love fun rise. And now I'm NBA Topshot, and I'm in the 36th percentile, which I don't think is very good, but I'm climbing.
Okay, Billy, I still don't understand, okay, because you keep saying this as a matter of fact, and I am really not understanding the business model when you continue to say video which you then don't own.
Yeah.
You do own it. Yeah.
No, you don't.
It's non-fungible. You own it. These are individually numbered, backed by cryptocurrency blockchain technology, Dan. I own it. And I'm one of 499 people that have this Thomas Satoransky thing. And the lowest price right there is like just under $1,000. So I've already made quite the hefty ROI there, Dano.
What fad would you not get it on?
Well, you mentioned Pokemon. I was super into that.
Right.
If there's a fad,
can you get
to
into
make
one
money,
without being a douche about it?
If there's a fad to make money, chances are if I've gotten around to it, I'm too late to the party. But yeah, everyone wants this. Getting rich quick is hot right now.
That's it. I think
everybody
always has
that.
been.
I feel like it always
so hot.
has
There's
been.
missing scheme at the end of that. By the way.
It's everybody wants to get rich quick, and just add me to that list. And it was thrilling being one of 10,000 people that got this pack, because there were 250,000 people in this waiting line to get this pack. I paid $99 for this Thomas Satoransky thing.
Hold on. I want to backtrack for just a second here. Is what's happening here that a bunch of people are looking and they're saying, okay, so we grifted a bunch of money in the margins off of these hedge fund thieves by finding a market inefficiency.
Only if they sold. If they had the diamond strong hands, they left with nothing.
No, but is what's happening here, they did that. They made a bunch of money on GameStop. You've read the stories of guy who lives with his mother, made $44 million in a morning. Is it now everyone running to every sort of thing that doesn't make sense to see if they could be first on a market inefficiency? Wait a minute. In the digital age, I have video.
Been doing it for years.
Of J.J. Barea's 7th season. He was sitting on the bench during the second quarter.
No. Everyone's getting Rodney McGruber's like one of 800,000s. And it's like, oh, wow, this is worth 3 cents now. Great. But if I hold off on it and Rodney, wins the MVP of the season in 10 years, it'll be worth 10 cents. 10 times what it's worth now.
It's exciting. I'm so happy that I'm in on this right now. It's frustrating. I spent 4.5 hours of my Saturday trying to spend $9.99 on a pack that everybody got. Everything's working slow. And here's my favorite part about Topshot, because I'm never going to make any money on this. Billy's probably right. But I like to get my hopes up. Right now, during this beta portion of Topshot, because it's not officially open yet, there's a verification process that takes 6 to 8 weeks. So you need to be verified in order to withdraw your money. So it takes 6 to 8 weeks right now. So the people that are selling these cards for, I think Lefko was a part of a crew that bought a LeBron James highlight for $240,000. He was an investor in this group. So in order to get that money back, they have to wait for 6 to 8 weeks while this verification process happens. And then they can withdraw their money, but only in $1,000 increments every 30 days.
Oh, shit.
What?
Yes. That is presently. Now, they got to fix this. You got to imagine. But that is presently the ugly little secret about NBA Topshot is no one can get their money.
Well, that was like HQ, right? HQ, the way that you would win is you would win like whatever, but you had to get to like $10 in earnings, I think, before you could cash out. And it's like, no one ever won that much money. You'd have to win like 30 times to get to $10. So you would never be able to cash out. Isn't that what they would do?
I think so. But Mike, you're saying you could buy, but you can only sell if you're verified. Is that
you can buy unverified. Oh, they love you buying unverified.
But you can't sell unless you're verified, and that takes up to 6 to 8 weeks.
No.
I like this business model.
Dane and Stu, you can absolutely sell. You just can't get your money from selling if you're unverified, and you can't get it in more than $1,000 increments every 30 days.
I did not think, Billy, I did not believe that the Draymond Green disparagement of Rodney Magruder, making fun of Rodney as a name, could be funnier. But you just made it funnier when you fell out of the Zoom because you pronounced Rodney's name Rodney McGruber, making it an even funnier comedic name.
It was an upgrade to him, if you ask me.
Tough guy, Rodney.
Because if it was McGruber, he would have went with the last name, right? McGruber.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Tough guy, Rodney.
McGruber. He would have absolutely. The B changes that entire word, Billy. How did you felt very self-conscious? I saw you feeling good arguing on behalf of the principal. I believe you're right, Billy. This is stupid.
Thank you, Dan.
People shouldn't make money off a video that they don't own because everybody is scared of the way the currency and value is changing in the United States.
Bunch of boomers that are just uncomfortable with the self-checkout lines and don't understand blockchain technology and non-fungible tokens. You guys sound so ancient because I'm sure in the 1930s there was some peepaw like Dano saying that piece of cardboard's not going to be worth jack shit. And here we are talking about Luka Doncic trading cards for $4.6 million.
Yeah, you guys want to keep your printed baseball reference pages. Can't have any new technology getting in the way of your old school memorabilia.
Yeah.
Guys, I just had a thought. How much do you think someone would pay for an I Have a Child on worldofsuey.com? If we start selling clips of this show, I mean,
Tell
I'm
Mike
down.
it's one of one.
Someone has reached
out.
out to me via my DMs. He knows how to make non-fungible tokens, and he's like, I can make non-fungible tokens at a moment's from your show. I'm like, let's get a media partner and start owning our own video, and you've got yourself a deal. Because can you imagine how much a non-fungible token of Billy biting into an onion would get?
Oh, wow.
On the open market, I'm sure there's a crazy Batard show collector that would pay at least $4.50 for Billy biting into an onion.
Well, two questions. What does that mean, and who is Thomas Storansky?
Peepaw?
Stugotz here. I love telling you about ZipRecruiter. Been supporting me, Dan, the entire show for many, many years. We appreciate them. And listen, the best teams start with great talent, but finding the right people can be a challenge. But when it comes to hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter can help you find the right candidates for your team fast. From healthcare to manufacturing to business services and more. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Dan. When you post a job on ZipRecruiter, it gets sent out to over 100 top job sites with one click. Then ZipRecruiter's matching technology scans thousands of resumes and profiles to send you the most qualified people for your job. If you're really interested in a candidate, simple. You invite them to apply for your job. With one click, ZipRecruiter sends them an email from you, and you stand out from the competition. It's so effective that 4 to 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. And right now, to try ZipRecruiter for free, my listeners can go to ZipRecruiter.com/Dan. That's ZipRecruiter.com/DAN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Dan. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Rosie, you were awesome last night.
Oh, thank you so much. I had such a great time. I couldn't breathe in that dress, but it was worth it. I had told my sister, she was so happy that I was presenting, and she asked me if I was nervous. I said, you know what, 20 years ago I would have been nervous. Here now, I'm just excited. It was fun, and I had a great time. And then the response from the first responders out in the audience, I mean, I was really touched by that. That was a surprise to me. And, and they showed love to Chris as well. And it was great. It was a great moment.
Anytime there's an important boxing match anywhere in the world, we go to our exclusive correspondent, Rosie Perez. You remember her, Do the Right Thing, White Men Can't Jump. What was the COVID version of the Golden Globes like for you, Rosie? Was it weird or was it all positive?
It was both. It was weird as hell and positive at the same time because, you usually have the red carpet, and you have all these flashing lights and, we had to go underground entrance into the radio to 30 Rock, and pass all these security checks, health checks, and I had a face shield, and everyone had masks, and it was crazy. Even backstage, we weren't allowed to really mingle with anybody. I saw Chris Maloney, he's a friend, and so we talked a little bit, but we had to talk 6 feet apart, and so it was very, very strange. But at the same time, it suited me well because I don't do well in Hollywood settings. Hollywood events. I get such anxiety, and I just want to go home back to Brooklyn. So actually, it was a blessing in disguise for me because all that anxiety was gone. You know, no crowd, no red carpet. I was like, I'm loving this. You know, so it was good.
Was there anything, I don't know how you view these things, award shows can be silly even in a time when people can use some distraction and come together around art or something to just have a party that feels a little bit close to normal. But do you get upset because your show doesn't win? Was anyone robbed last night, according to Rosie Perez?
No, I don't give two poo-poos about that. I really don't. I don't care. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I've been nominated before and people, you know, say, well, it's an honor just to be nominated. And some people think that's bullcrap, but it's not. It really is. You know what I'm saying? And you learn as you get older that, you know, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. If you know you did a good job, and I love the flight attendant. I love the entire cast. I thought Kaylee hit it out of the park as well as the cast. And so, you know, even Kaylee Kuko, we texted that night back and forth, and she said, I feel like I've already won. And that was before her category came up. And I said, that's the right attitude. That's the right attitude, you know? So, you know, so it's all right. It's not, no, I don't care. If I was younger, maybe, I don't know, you know, because when I was younger, when I was nominated and I didn't win, my disappointment wasn't for myself. It was for my father and my family. And when he told me he didn't care, he was just happy to be there. I was like, oh, okay. All right, great. We're good. You know?
Your relationship with your father and your family is something we've talked about before. I'd like to get back to it, but something else we've talked about before is the scene you did with Spike Lee that is very strong and sensual and took 8 hours to film at the start of Do the Right Thing. And we've talked about sort of the injuries. I didn't realize that you had injured yourself worse on Law & Order Special Victims Unit, Hardwired. I didn't know what happened there because last time you were on with us, you told us that you felt some pain in some areas, and I didn't realize that it was filming something else, not what we had talked about.
Right. I'm not supposed to get into it, you know, because of legal reasons about what happened on Law & Order, but I will tell you this, is that, you know, they had a day player, and it wasn't his fault. You know, a day player means an actor just for the day who wasn't a professional stunt person. In a scene where he's supposed to be yanking me from the car, and the man was like 300 pounds. And so he shook me so hard, they called it baby shake syndrome, and it broke my neck. But I didn't realize it. You know, usually people who break their neck, you know, end up paralyzed, you know, and stuff like that. I was just in immense pain, and I couldn't understand what was going on. And I kept telling them, something's wrong. And they go, oh, that's too bad. Can we finish the shot? And I was like, oh, my God, are you kidding? You know, but, you know, everybody, they took care of all my medical bills. They took care of me very, very well. And I told the guy, the day player, you know, listen, you know, no hard feelings. And let's move on. You know, thank God nothing seriously bad happened to me, but it has changed me forever. You know, like my mobility and my neck and all that stuff. I can't do push-ups anymore because of all the apparatus that they put up in there. You know, but it just is what it is. You know, and actually a lot of good came out of it. You know, I guess the universe was telling me just sit your ass down for a while, slow down, and you know, so it was all right.
Good how? Just stillness? Just not the frantic pace you were keeping before?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And the stillness was great. You know, I ended up writing a book during there. I ended up, like, really figuring out who my real friends are and making closer relationships with my family members, you know what I mean? And also understanding what's important in life. Like, I had a nurse who was horrible. She was just horrible, and she smelled every day. And usually I wouldn't have said anything and just been extremely polite, you know, the Puerto Rican way, like, oh, thank you so much. And I was just over it. I said, darling, you gotta go. I'm sorry. The personal hygiene thing is killing me. I'm in too much pain to deal with you.
You mentioned who your real friends are. What did you learn there? Like, what you needed help? I can't imagine Rosie Perez is very good at needing.
I'm not. It's hard for me to ask for help. It really is. But it was that, like when it first happened, people came over and everything, and they had to move me to a bigger hospital room because so many family members, and friends were coming. But then as the days were going on and, and the months, because I was in recovery for about 9 to 10 months. And, walking around the neighborhood with my nurse and on a walker trying to get exercise, those things you feel humiliated at first, and then after a while you really don't care. You just don't care. And then as the months go on and you see who keeps coming by to check on you, who keeps calling, you know what I mean? Who's, there's no more, dinner parties at the house. There's no more backyard barbecues anymore. There's no more this or that. But the ones that still kept coming, that's what I mean about you understand who your real friends are.
I'm curious, and I didn't intend to spend this much time here, but I was just trying to get to the photograph or the video that I saw, Rosie, of you accepting an honor from Barack Obama in a wheelchair, in a neck brace. I'm wondering what the backstory. You had to get there, I imagine. You just needed to get to what was happening there, and you didn't care if it hurt?
Nope. That was hilarious, by the way, because I kind of lied to the administration, which I shouldn't have just said that. Oh, God, I just did. But anyway, so... so what happened was is that, broke the neck. I could walk with a cane, but I couldn't walk for a very long time yet. And so I had to still be in the wheelchair, but I still wanted the cane because I wanted to stand up for the picture, which I later found out we were going to be seated. And they told me you cannot bring your cane into the White House. If you're in a wheelchair, you're in a wheelchair. And I said, what for? Why can't I bring my cane? Well, it could be used as a possible weapon. I said, I'm not going to kill Barack. What are you talking about? Right? They're like, no, sorry, you can't do it. But I hid it in my wheelchair.
Oh, my God.
And, yeah. And, and so...
you smuggled something. A Latina smuggled something. A brown person, well, it was okay back then. But a brown person smuggled something into the White House and was not and lied to authorities. That's got to be a federal crime of some sort you've just admitted to, Rosie.
Did I? So anyway, so they had a White House aide pushing me around and everything like that. And to give the listeners context, it was there to release the very first national AIDS strategy that was coming out of the White House administration. And after like 30 years of the AIDS epidemic, it was a big, big moment. And I was appointed to the Presidential Advisory Council on HIV and AIDS. And that was a lot of work we did, a lot of hard work. So I didn't want to miss that moment. And he was announcing the strategy, and he was giving us, all the council members, kudos, for all, we were there for a whole year working on our own dime, by the way. And so when we get into the room to take the picture with the president, with President Barack Obama, I took off my neck brace, and I got out of the wheelchair, and they had seated me in the front line, and everybody else was standing. I was like, oh, this is good. And so I got up and I used the cane to walk over to the chair. I thought nobody was looking, and then I put the cane on the side of the chair. And the president came in, and everybody, you have to stand up in attention when the president walks into the room. And I couldn't stand. And he told everyone quickly, no, please, sit down. And he starts saying hello to everybody. And he goes to the back line, the members that were standing behind me to shake. He was shaking everyone's hand. And he trips on my cane.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Oh, boy.
Secret Service was like, just like, right? And President Obama goes, who the hell's cane is that?
Oh, no.
And everybody just got quiet.
Oh, no.
And I said, huh? And he said, who the hell's cane is that? The Secret Service compensating guy said, excuse me, Mr. Barack. And then everyone goes, President. And I go, sorry, because I was so nervous. I said, he's my cane. He says, why do you have a cane? And I said, well, I broke my neck. But he goes, why did you break your neck? I said, well, it was doing a stunt. He goes, don't you know they got professionals to do that? And I said, yes, Mr. President, sir. And he goes, yeah. He says, next time, leave it to the professionals, and next time, leave your cane at home. Right? And I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I sat down, and he just shook his head, and then he burst out laughing. He goes, I can't believe you did that. And I said, he goes, so what's the wheelchair for? And I said, well, I was supposed to only be in the wheelchair. He said, so why do you have the cane? And I said, because I wanted to sit in the chair for the picture. And he goes, I don't understand. And I go, I'm Puerto Rican with vein. I don't want it to look like that. And
Rosie,
he stopped laughing.
Your lie fell apart. Everything fell apart for Rosie.
Unraveled.
That sounds like a terrible moment for you there, where the Secret Service notices that the president has been tripped by a cane you smuggled into the building with your lies.
Yes. And so then they said, okay, everybody out into the main yellow area room where he's going to announce it. And I go, can I have my cane back? And they said, no. And I said, oh, I got to get back in the chair. And they said, yes. So I got back in the chair, and they said, and you can't go out that way. And I said, I can't? And they said, no, you have to go through a special door for the handicap. And I said, oh, okay. And so they said, well, you just wait here. And the top aide reeled me into a room, and the aide was nervous and didn't understand that I wasn't supposed to be in the room. And then the president, everybody else is outside. The president, Obama, walks into that room with all his secret security, and he looks at me and he stops. He goes, what are you doing in here? And I go, I didn't do anything this time. I swear. this person, they wheeled me in here. And he goes, oh my God. He said, he goes, you're an amazing person. I said, thank you, sir. He goes, but you're a hot mess.
Wait, Rosie, do me a favor. Can you share for us what your reaction was, what you were thinking when Obama said to you that he saw Do the Right Thing?
I was so embarrassed. That was when the first time he said that was when I met him at the Hispanic Congressional Caucus Awards down in D.C. when he was then Senator Barack Obama. And he came on stage and everybody was screaming like he was Michael Jackson or something. I was like, oh my God, this man really is going to be president. And there was a line of people, where he was shaking hand, and I cut the line. I went all the way to the end because I knew that's his final exit. And I shook his hand, and he goes, you're Rosie Perez. And I said, yes, Senator, yes, very nice to meet you. He goes, would you campaign for me? And I said, oh, it would be my pleasure. He goes, how can I get in touch with you? I said, well, call Jeffrey. And he goes, Jeffrey who? And I said, Jeffrey Wright. And he goes, why should I call Jeffrey Wright for your information? And I said, oh, because he's my neighbor and he's my friend, and he told me that you're good friends with him. And he started laughing. And he goes, oh, my God, I loved you ever since Do the Right Thing. I went, excuse me? He goes, yeah, me and my wife. That was our first date. I went, you saw me naked? And he laughed so hard. And I turned bright red. And I was like, oh, my God. And then he goes, get me that information. I said, okay, call Jeffrey. He says, I ain't calling Jeffrey.
That's great. Rosie, I do want to talk boxing with you. You are our boxing correspondent. But right before we do that, because the Canelo fight wasn't actually that interesting, I did want to talk to you about, because you care about New York, and I know we've talked to you before that you care about the strength of women being respected. I have been, and we were just talking sort of politics, or at least meeting Obama. I wondered if you wanted to wade into the waters of, now it's two guys, because Andrew Cuomo has failed in some of the same places that a lot of other people have failed, and New York has given me two guys in the last 20 years that when they handled something at the beginning that was a crisis, I thought they might be presidential material, and then they became Rudy Giuliani and Andrew Cuomo. So you make what? Because you care about New York. You make what of the politics of all that as Cuomo now sinks into some sexual harassment stuff?
That's very hard for me to comment because I've always had a fantastic relationship with Governor Cuomo, and it was an honor that he asked me to do the Mask Up America campaign. And being the voice of the MTA system, the subway and the buses and the metro line, of asking people in English and Spanish to mask up, that I don't regret at all. And I would do it again. But I have to say, especially with the second allegation and with his recent comment of his, apology, if you will, it was disheartening. It was very, very disheartening and disappointing, and it's hard, and I know a lot of people on social media, they say, oh, you praised him, and how do you feel about now? Aren't you hypocritical? I'm not hypocritical. I do praise him for what he did during the initially during the pandemic in regards to asking New Yorkers and the nation to mask up. I will still praise him for that. But, with this sexual scandal, it's just, come on, dude. Really? It's really, really disappointing and hard to take. It's just the same way of, I think that there should be an investigation, and it should be investigated very thoroughly. But his apology is an admission of guilt to an extent, and in regards to the nursing home scandal, it came out in the Washington Post that other governors did the same because people didn't really know what was what because of the Trump administration. They weren't forthcoming with all the information and wasn't really giving proper guidance as to what needed to be done. So people were making rash decisions that ended up in like terrible, terrible, unnecessary deaths. So I think that should be investigated very thoroughly. And I want to withhold my comments on that in regards to the nursing homes. But in regards to the sexual harassment, it's crushing. It's really, really crushing. And my former friend, former Attorney General Eric Schneiderman, I mean, we used to double date all the time. My husband and I and him and my girlfriend Tanya, they met at the DNC. I was there. I was working for the Democratic National Convention for, when Hillary accepted the nomination for the Democratic Party, and when I found out from my girlfriend Tanya, and she recently wrote a book about all the abuse she endured under Eric Schneiderman. You sit here and you go, oh my gosh, you think somebody's beef, and then you find out they're a different person, and you're like, oh my goodness, the last time I spoke to Eric Schneiderman was, I said, dude, I hope you get help, man. What you did was just horrible. It was wrong. And what a disservice to the nation because, you're amazing at your job. Amazing. And look, it's a great loss. It's a great loss for everybody because now you're gone. You're out of here, and I don't know. I don't know how Cuomo's going to survive this. This is the first time I've ever commented on it. I know my team didn't want me to comment on it, but after yesterday, you can't stay silent because then you are hypocritical,
Well, we always appreciate your honesty on all matters, and this is a bit of a tricky and an awkward segue for us because we did have you on just to talk boxing. So we got, as we often do with Rosie, we get entangled in other places that are interesting. So the Canelo fight, he is now, we have to start thinking about this, okay? He's got one loss on his resume. It's 55-1-2. He's pound for pound as strong as anybody, going across divisions and weight classes to win stuff. Rosie, like historically, what are we watching from this guy? Not that this last Saturday was any kind of test.
I think that, historically, I would say that we're watching something spectacular. As it's very rare when boxers age, they get better. There's very few boxers that fit into that category, and Canelo is one of those fighters, and we have to give him the credit. And I know a lot of people underestimated him early on in his career and everything, but I think that the best thing that ever happened to him was when he lost to Floyd Mayweather. I was there during that fight. It was out in Las Vegas. I was in the media room because that's another story. Oh my God, such drama that night. But
tell us that story. Hold on. Tell us that story. Stop everything you're doing. Tell us the media room story, and we'll continue on this tour with you after that. Yeah.
Okay. So Showtime Boxing invites me and my husband to go there, and we're very excited, and they say that we have floor seats, and I was very appreciative because those tickets were going from $6,000, and I'm not lying, to $20,000, right? And they said, you're not going to be really close. You'll be really far back. And I said, that's fine. I'll take it. You know, we flew out. We rented the hotel room and this and that. We get there late because I had hair issues. It's so freaking humid in in Vegas. And
it's a fight. So, Rosie, like there's ridiculous pressure to look right at the fight.
Oh, yes. And so I get there very late. Missed the undercard, and I go for my tickets, and everyone is in a panic. And they're like, just a moment. They hand me my ticket. I open it up, and I went, what? I'm in the rafters. I'm in the nosebleed seats. And I'm going, what's going on? And my husband was like, I thought you were on the floor. I said, I thought so, too. And I'm trying to find all the people from Showtime. They're already on the floor, right? And so I said, well, babe, we came all this way. Let's just go up and sit. He goes, are you serious? I said, I want to see the fight. and so we go up into the rafters. We take our seats. I am getting harassed, on our way. My husband's doing his best. My husband's a tough New Yorker, by the way, and so we take our seats, and then there's a group of, they look like college jocks, drunk off their asses. They're holding their beers and they're spilling over, and they start screaming, do the right thing, do the right thing, ice cubes. And I went, oh my God. And then my husband gets up and the guy goes, what are you going to do? And then somebody else, another person in the audience was like, leave her alone. They're like, you shut the F up. And I go, oh my God. And then they start fighting. And security is getting called, and I'm calling Steve Forhood. He's the color commentator for Showtime, and I'm calling Andres Ferrari, who's the boxing editor for ESPN. And they're like, where are you? I go, I'm up here. Oh my God, it's getting crazy. Somebody send help. And they bring in security. And because me and the security guard that was on site grabs me and my husband, and we have to hide underneath the bleachers, underneath the rafter, right? And I'm sitting here, and I'm so upset. And I said, why are we standing here? The fight is going to start. The fight is going to start. She goes, ma'am, you were almost mobbed.
Yeah.
You forget the fight. I said, forget the fight.
Forget the fight. What are you talking about, lady? You don't know me very well.
So then all of a sudden, she goes, you have to wait here because security is going to escort you out. And I said, no. I literally started crying. And my husband was telling me to calm down. And they bring in like 6 big muscle security guards. And they said, hands on shoulders. We're going to move through the crowd. And I'm like, what? And so we're hands on shoulders, and then as we're going through the crowd, people are like, Rosie! And the security guard, he's an elderly gentleman, he turns back, he's like a big, beefy man, he goes, can I use profanity on your show?
Yes.
Yeah. No? Okay. He says, excuse me, ma'am, with all due respect, who the are you? And I said, nobody. I said, where are you taking us? He goes, to the media room. And my husband goes, absolutely not. I went, shut up. And my husband goes, what? I said, yes, take us to the media room. And my husband goes, what? I said, because I always wanted to be there, because after the fight, the fighters are going to be there. So we're going to see Floyd, and we're going to see Canelo, and we're going to see all the inside tracks. And my husband goes, you really are a pathetic boxing fan. And so we spent that night not on the floor, not in the rafters, but in the media room with all the best, and we go there, and there was a guy there, Mark Ortega, a boxing writer. He goes, you're Rosie Perez. I go, yeah. He goes, I follow you on Twitter. I go, yeah, nice to meet you. He goes, what are you doing here? And I said, well, we had nosebleeder seats, and then there was a little scuffle, and they brought us here. And he goes, why did you buy nosebleeder seats? I said, I didn't. That's what Showtime gave me. And he goes, hey, guys. And the whole media room gathers around me, and we're talking. And then the person, then Andres Ferrari comes over to me. He goes, you have to be quiet. I said, what do you mean? He goes, this is a media room. We're all working. You're like creating anarchy. I said, oh, I'm sorry. He goes, the fight's about to start. And remember, you can't cheer for anybody. We're supposed to be neutral in this room. I said, oh, okay. The fight starts. I start screaming, go Floyd! I got all of the writers all around me and my husband screaming. It was pure mayhem. It was the best time I ever had on a fight. Best time.
All right. Rosie, thank you for being on
We
with
put a
us.
bookmark somewhere.
I want to talk to you again. I want to talk to you more. Thank you for making the time for us always, Rosie.
Oh, my pleasure, guys. My pleasure. And just the last comment, that fight with Canelo this past weekend, it was the best sparring match I ever watched, ever. It was great.
Yeah.
It
Just
was great.
sparring.
Beat up that tomato can.
Useless.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the entrance? Did you enjoy? He came in with a marching band behind him. What were they playing? What was the marching band playing? They were playing
Final Countdown.
Final Countdown. That's right. Did you like that entrance or no good for Rosie? She wanted something a little more flamboyant.
It is a little more flamboyant. Oh my God! I mean, I love flamboyant entrances. I really do. Like all the way back to Prince Nassim to now, Tyson Fury. I really do love it. It's just when it goes on too long and then they give us a mini concert. I'm like, oh my God! It's just because I tweeted out. I said the ring walk was longer than the fight. It's just like, come on, let's just get the business. So that's my personal opinion.
Rosie,
anyway, thank you guys. I love you guys.
Stugotz here. Let's take a minute for my friends at Advance Auto Parts, our friends at Advance Auto Parts. Listen, Dan and I ask the bare minimum. That's what we ask of you, the audience, okay? Take care of the people who support this show, who get the show, and Advance Auto Parts has been supporting this show for years now, and they get the show, and they have truly become friends with me, Dan, the shipping container, the entire Batard show crew. We love them. We love them. So take good care of them. Why? Because they take good care of us, because they get the show, because I'm telling you to. How about that? Have you heard about their advanced same-day offers? Amazing. Get this. Advance offers free curbside pickup and free in-store pickup within 30 minutes on most in-stock products. 30 minutes. That's the kind of speed that gets you back on the road with the parts you need fast. So head to your Advance Auto Parts store today. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Evaluate Topshot account. You're going to be so jealous.
I'm going to do this.
Oh, people are going to kill me for that take, but it's true. They're idiots.
I'm in on Top Shot.
Yeah?
I'm going to try it.
You have to wait in a line for like hours to buy these two guys. You're not in on Top Shot.
What do you mean wait in line?
Here's my account. Here's my account.
Stugotz gonna try and like bluster on it.
Digital line,
like,
Stugotz.
buddy, I'm Stugotz. I got
Not a real line. Digital line.
Number one sports podcast. Can I get in front of the line?
That's what I will do.
I know a guy.
Here's my account value.
I probably will know a guy.
My account value presently is $1,800. A total profit of $823. That is an 84%
You spent
ROI.
$1,000 on these cards?
I told you I spent $800 on an Obi Toppin because this Obi Toppin is going to be worth so much.
Wait, you bought that card for $800 from someone?
Yeah, because I got a low serial number.
Oh my lord! I thought
I got a triple-digit serial number on Obi Toppin.
Flipper. It's like a house. It's just a flipper.
Yeah, this one's gonna. This Obi Toppin thing, honestly, will get me a sports card, no doubt. If he wins the slam dunk contest, for
I've
sure.
never actually seen it in action before.
Look at that!
It's literally just a corner three in an empty Banker's Life field house.
$800.
It was a big three.
Base set, Series 2, base set.
Oh my god!
You want to check out my Thomas Satoransky?
Oh yes.
How much is that one?
I could set the price to whatever I want. Which is why Pablo Torre has a Bismarck Biombo highlight that he put a $50,000 price on.
What's the cut? Like, what do you get out of that? Because you don't get 100%.
I think we get 100%.
No chance. It's like StubHub. You get like 70%. There's
agree.
no chance.
There's a rake for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
I would say
transaction
You're
fees.
paid $800.
No.
When you sell it, you're gonna be like, oh, I'll sell it for $1,000, and you end
No.
up getting $750. So you lost money.
I think the catch is they have all your money. They're making investments off of your money, getting a much better ROI on it. Meanwhile, you have to wait 2 months to get verified, and you can only withdraw your money $1,000 at a time. I'd be really offended if there was some sort of take on their part
This
beyond
seems like
that.
it's on the up and up.
Well, I mean, it's still beta. It's Top Shot beta, Bill.
But it's also, I mean, it is on the up and up because they do have like official deals with the NBA and with the NBA Players Association. So it is like it's a legit operation.
Yeah, you see that Satoransky, right?
Oh,
it's metallic gold. Okay. Not only is it rare, but it's also metallic gold. Series 2.
Satoransky.
You're going to want to get in on these Series 2.
Who is the assist 2? I've been able to figure out who's number 34 on the Wizards.
Don't know, but
is Satoransky a wizard or a bull?
He's a bull.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a bull. And that is a very nice assist. Very nice dish in the key. And the lowest ask for this right now, Billy, there's a bunch of people selling. Well, not that many. There's only 98 because they only made 499 of this. The lowest ask for this card is $710.
Thing is, Mike, is like at some point they're gonna unleash the archive and like Larry Bird steal.
They have.
I know, but like I heard Brian Windhorst saying that he hasn't or that the NBA hasn't actually dug into the archive as yet to like really let this thing go. But like
not in earnest.
But when
there are flashback
Thomas
ones.
Satoransky does an up and under to Wendell Carter.
Ooh,
like
that's Wendell Carter.
That's
huh?
Wendell Carter. Like,
Wendell Carter IV?
Yes. Like when they get to the good stuff, there's no way this is going to have a remote value. Like
it's always going to
imagine like LeBron James throwing it down on Jason Terry.
If you get
right?
a LeBron James, you've made thousands of dollars.
But like it's like mundane highlights from this season. When he throws it down on Jason Terry.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Because people are going to know.
Scores 27 in a row against Detroit.
Guys, these are Series 1 and Series 2 cards that were released during a pandemic. They're always going to have value. People are always going to want the first editions of stuff. How valuable is the first Hyundai? Think about that. Think about that. I'll let you
I'll ruminate
put
on
that. Put that in your slow cooker.
Man, how much is that Ray Allen shot going to go for?
Right, exactly. We haven't even gotten to good NBA highlights yet.
If it's still around by then, it bothers me how much me and Chris Whittingham are aligned on things.
Why?
I don't know.
I think I'm a good ally.
I muted Cortez, and I didn't realize that if he just tags me, that the mute doesn't work.
Oh.
And it wasn't even because of this. Apparently, I was just like, enough with the Heat stuff.
Oh no, yeah, I've done that before as well.
So the NBA has a very good reputation, progressive leadership, unlike the other sports leadership, good partnership between Adam Silver and the players. I just wanted to throw something at you guys and see if you cared at all about what is happening here and what your opinion is on the following. The NBA store has not paid rent in a very long time. The NBA store, citing catastrophic event, has taken basically a lawsuit has gone to the New York Supreme Court because they have not paid they have not paid rent since March of 2020, and I think they're like $12 million past due on rent. When I say that to you, Stugotz, your thoughts are what?
Makes me wince. You're the NBA. You have the money. There's someone's real estate that you're occupying. It's valuable real estate. Pay your bills. That's it.
Catastrophic event.
I understand. Yeah. I mean, I'm certain. Listen, I'm certain the NBA, what they have found, it's a terrible look for the NBA. Okay. I understand catastrophic event, and there's probably a loophole in the contract between them and whoever owns that piece of real estate, where maybe they can get out of rent for a while because of a catastrophic event. But is it catastrophic to the NBA? I mean, their season's still going on.
Well, that's where I was leading you.
$100 million contracts.
That is
people.
but that is where I was leading you on. How can you, in good conscience, make an argument? It's not a good conscience argument. It's a legal argument. It's a legal loophole argument. But how can you argue catastrophic event? We don't need to pay our bills. Hey, it's not a catastrophic event on the court where we need to pay our bills. Like, that's what's happening there.
Right.
You can't say, if it's a catastrophic event, why is your league, and it still is a catastrophic event for the league, they're losing all of that money that is in the stands, that's supposed to be in the stands. So it has been a catastrophic event for the business of the NBA. even as the NBA has succeeded somehow through its leadership in a way that has made it be a leader in sports, getting out and getting back in. But that juxtaposition to me of the business was interesting. The idea that you can just argue something legally out of both sides of your mouth to try with your lawyers to get whatever it is that you can get in the stratosphere, where I just don't think that $12 million in this sphere seems like something that you'd want around your league's name.
Well, that's what I'm
saying. In a way that goes all the way up to the New York Supreme Court. But I imagine the NBA store and the NBA store's link to the NBA might have a little bit of financial sort of, wiring that you and I don't understand, like in terms of how much the NBA is actually involved in the finances of the NBA store.
Right, but if you're the NBA, I understand that, and you're right.
We don't understand anything I just said.
No,
what I just said is the opposite of I understand. No, I understand that as your new listen.
Right.
I understand that. No, it is. Mike, I need some help here. I understand that as your bridge to not listening to anything I just said and just to get to the next place where you want to talk.
It was the rare time I was listening, and I was going to say, I understand we don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's where I was headed.
That's where he was headed.
Yeah,
I'm backing you up on this one.
You.
But you do that a lot.
I know.
Please, for the love of God, stop saying listen so much.
So listen, here's the deal with the NBA. Why would you want that hanging around you? It's a $12 million bill. It's a lot. Yup. Catastrophic event. Yes. Why, if you're the NBA, would you want that little thing, $12 million? Because to them, $12 million is a little thing. Why would you want that around you at all?
I don't understand. Well, I guess I understand why we're talking about that, but why should they pay when no one else is? There's all sorts of real estate deals having to be done like this in New York City because of the pandemic, and the real estate in that city was already at an astronomically absurd price that was unfair to real estate developers out there. Now, they make for bad martyrs, obviously, but why should the NBA, just because it's the NBA, try to avoid bad press because they're more well-known than other people, not be able to be afforded the same breaks that other buildings and occupiers of real estate in New York are?
But here's why it's a bad look, Mike. They might not be making money at that store. They're making money somewhere. They have enough money to pay this bill.
No. They're not making money. They're mitigating losses.
That's correct. Stugotz, that's important. That is important.
No, but
the business is hemorrhaging right now. It's just hemorrhaging less than it was when they weren't playing any games at all.
I understand that. Listen, but they do have some revenue streams.
I think you should just get stuck there. Listen, I understand that. I understand that, but listen, I understand that. I understand that. Listen, though. Listen before I tell you how I understand that. I don't understand that. I understand it. Listen.
You also listen to Stupidity this week, huh?
I give up.
What do you mean you give up?
I am folding my hand. Whatever hand and argument I was about to make, I forgot about it, and I'm giving up.
Because
wow.
This
I've never seen that before.
Yeah. This is no win. This is no win.
Yes, Stugotz always bluffs his way through the hand.
Love it. I love what you just did there.
I got a 4 and a 3 underneath, man.
This was a conventional.
Straight, I'm back.
We were trying to do.
You had a hand. I thought he had a hand.
We were trying to do a conventional sports radio topic, and you found yourself on the side.
4-3 suited. Stugotz dumps a 4-3 suited, and it's hard for him because he likes going all in on every single hand.
Nothing in life is free. Time for some ads.
All right, let's take a second here for our friends at Advance Auto Parts. I love telling you about Advance Auto Parts. They always have our back, been with us for years. We appreciate their commitment to the show. They get the show. Unlike any other sponsor we've had, I think. They get the show. Have you heard about their advanced same-day offers? Get this advance offer, free curbside pickup and free in-store pickup within 30 minutes on most in-stock products. That's the kind of speed that gets you back on the road with the parts you need and get you there fast. So head to your Advance Auto Parts store today. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations.
You've seen what's happening around here in Miami. Maybe you haven't. I don't know if this is like a known thing, but it's a bit jarring what's happening in the city. You've heard me talk about just the general danger that surrounds right now where we are on 10th and Ocean with scissor fights and shootings. And yesterday over the beach, some dude was just lost at sea, and there were a bunch of fire trucks and police officers and helicopters in the middle of the night just flying all over the place because it feels dangerous on Miami Beach. But something that is happening indisputably in Miami right now, and I don't know what this is going to birth in 10 years, but because our mayor is more progressive on counterculture currency than any other place in the United States, and because that tech money is realizing, wait a minute, California's on fire, and we got people piled on top of each other here, and the coronavirus is worse there. Florida isn't having the problems that California is happening because California has a whole lot of people on top of each other who aren't making a lot of money, and it is a nightmare in California the way it has not yet been in Miami, even though Florida has mismanaged all this stuff. California and New York are flooding down here. Flooding down here like I don't need to live there anymore. I can work from home now, and the real estate down here is going crazy, even though it's all going to be underwater in 10 years. Like, it's going nuts because they're like, I want to be in the Wild West down there where they don't have homeowners taxes and they don't have to do anything, and their governor's a crazy person. My place isn't on fire yet. It will be in 10 years when we're drowning, and it's also burning because it's way too hot here for February.
Hey, if we drown, New York drowns too.
And New York has come down here, Stugotz. I've never seen it like this. Just money flooding down here where the real estate is going a bit loopy because New Yorkers are like, I want that property on the wall.
Well, it's always been in Boca and Palm Beach. You're saying down here in Miami.
I'm talking about just in general. New York and California, our roads down here. I have not read about this at all, but I'm just talking to too many people where I see it happening too much, where affordable housing is stopping being any kind of affordable, or even if you have money, you have to settle for something because of the amount of money that's pouring into Miami right now.
Mayor Suarez desperately wants to be a tech city so much, having meetings with Elon Musk to build tunnels that I don't think we can, given our just general height as a city. I don't understand how we're going to build tunnels. We could go underwater, but not with that aggressive timeline. He takes out billboards in San Francisco because San Francisco real estate was absolutely done in by the tech boom out there. So he's actively courting tech companies, and I just don't think that's ever going to be a fit for South Florida because when
it's going to be a corruption fit.
Well, I mean, we're the money laundering capital of the United States of America, and all of a sudden we're going to become a Bitcoin hub too. So
he's
the
trying,
thing about
though. He's
crypto,
trying. A guy who is the son of the mayor of Miami, a very famous mayor of Miami, has decided to get in this game more aggressively than anyone is doing in the United States.
There's a lot of people drawing connections between cryptocurrency and how easy it is to launder money using cryptocurrency as well. So we'll see. When tech comes to a town, they tend to change the culture, but they've never come to a town like Miami. So I want a front row seat of what these compliance training is going to be when tech meets Miami, because it's a irresistible force and an immovable object when you come to stubbornness and culture. So we'll see.
Mike, are you excited about this Anderson .Paak Bruno Mars collaboration?
Absolutely. How can you not be? Those are, I mean, Anderson .Paak is tremendous. Bruno Mars is a superstar. He makes good music, good pop music. The whole Bootsy Collins type of influence on it, I'm there for it. No, and it was super quiet that they announced this joint venture. No one really knew that this was in the works. So where one Daft Punk door closes.
Are you excited for it? I mean,
he wasn't done with the line, Stugotz.
Sorry, I stepped on the bit. Listen, I understand that. I mean, what a weird question.
You were saying when one door closes?
When a Daft Punk door closes, a Bruno Mars Anderson .Paak door opens.
Or in the case of Billy, a John Lovitz door. Why do you love this dude so much, Billy? Why do you love him so much?
I love it, Tim. Did you see his cameo, how good it was? God, John Lovitz. He knows how to do a good cameo. You know Cameo, Dan? John Lovitz is on it. You can book him. You know the problem with the publicity that he got from his cameo? I think they shut down his cameo because he got too many requests because he became unavailable after that video went viral. You know Cameo, Dan? John Lovitz?
Tell me about the video for the people who don't know, Billy. Feel free at any point to include the audience.
We have the video. I'm trying to tee up us playing the audio of the video so that you could hear the video yourself.
Okay, let's hear that now.
Zach, John Lovitz here. How are you? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Zach. I think you know the song. Anyway, I was contacted by Becca and Brock and Viv. And they tell me you love the movie Southland Tales. You do? I was in the thing. I'm on the set, and I said to the director, Richard Kelly, can I ask you one question? He said, sure. I go, I read the script, and I just have one question. Yeah. What do I say when people ask me, what's this movie about? Because I can't figure it out for the life of me. And he said, just say it's about the end of the world. And he also said to me, well, I just made the movie like it was going to be the last movie I could ever make, so I just stuck everything in it. That he did, and I still don't get it, but I'm glad that you like it. And anyway, are you vaccinated yet? Because I am. Not. I just said that to bug you. Let's see. And being horny on Maine on Twitter. You like being horny on Twitter, or you hate people that are horny on Twitter? Well, anyway, I want to congratulate you on a birthday. Keep going to that gym. Get those abs. Get that girlfriend. It's great. And, I guess when the pandemic's over, you can go back. But you can still work out. You can do sit-ups at home. Hello, nobody's stopping you. Happy birthday. Oh, and by the way, flow my tears.
Billy, you are so strange. You're
so good.
So
He's
goddamn
so
strange. I don't know. You are such...
Maybe it's a visual thing.
Explain to me why and how that went viral, because you proposed it to me as something. Look at him. He's got tears in his eyes.
He's so good. He's so talented.
No, because all you're doing is listening to him and saying, my God, he's my muse. He just yammers and says nothing and asks for money, and he's so much better at it than I am because he's John Lovitz.
I went looking for that movie. I couldn't find it anywhere. It's never happened before. There's so many different streaming everythings that you just kind of go on your TV and you type in the name of the movie, Southland, whatever the hell it was called, and no one offers it. Not a single streaming device offers it. I can't find it anywhere.
So what are you laughing at specifically? Why are you pinching your nose and holding
it again?
I'm down.
Sure, play it again.
Zach, John Lovitz here. How are you? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Zach. I think you know the song. Anyway, I was contacted by Becca and Brock and Viv. And they tell me you love the movie Southland Tales. You do? I was in the thing. I'm on the set, and I said to the director, Richard Kelly, can I ask you one question? He said, sure. I go, I read the script, and I just have one question. Yeah. What do I say when people ask me, what's this movie about? Because I can't figure it out for the life of me. And he said, just say it's about the end of the world. And he also said to me, well, I just made the movie like it was going to be the last movie I could ever make. So I just stuck everything.
Oh, turn it off. Like, why are we listening to this again? Why are we listening to this again? No, Billy, you're the worst, okay? But, okay. Are you lashing?
But I'm glad that you like it. And anyway, are you vaccinated yet? Because I am. Not. I just said that to bug you.
Get it?
Let's see. And being horny on Maine on Twitter.
Just musing.
You like being horny on Twitter, or you hate people that are horny on Twitter? Well, anyway, I want to congratulate you on a birthday. Keep going to that gym. Get those abs. Get that girlfriend. It's great. And, I guess when the pandemic's over, you can go back. But you can still work out. You can do sit-ups.
Oh, come on. Enough.
Hello. Nobody's stopping you.
Make it stop.
Are you lashing out, Billy, because you had a phone issue last night with the charging of your telephone and you woke up and you say this is one of life's greatest frustrations to think you're charging your phone and then you don't charge your phone?
The worst. You know when you plug in your phone and then you're like, okay, I'm going to wake up, it's going to be fully charged, and it's not? You know why? Because it wasn't plugged into the wall. Isn't that the worst? I want to go on, wake up in the morning, watch my John Lovitz videos, and I can't because my phone isn't charged, even though I thought it was, because I plugged it into my phone, but the plug wasn't plugged into the wall. Isn't that the worst?
You didn't hear that noise. There's a little noise when you plug it in.
Oh, no, I hate the noise. I like my phone on silent all the time, which sucks when I lose it because I can't find it because it's on silent. You guys put your phone on silent, or do you have the Ring? You guys have the Ring on?
I have
vibrate.
Yeah, I go silent.
Roy?
It's on vibrate.
Oh, vibrate.
Baby.
What about caption on the TV? You guys do caption when you're watching TV?
Oh, guys, we want to talk about the meeting we had last week. We did a meeting the other day in Google Chat, I think it was called.
Did you just steamroll Chris Cody, who asked a question about whether you like captions or not? Like what?
We're getting there.
It was deserved.
Okay, are you doing? We're getting there. Okay, let's get there.
We're getting there. Yeah, so we had a meeting in Google Teams or whatever the Google thing is called, and we discovered that you could turn captions on. So the entire meeting we were distracted because we were just reading each other's captions while we were supposed to be talking and having a meeting. We weren't actually really participating in the meeting. We were just talking. And then, of course, it turned into what it always turns into. How many curse words can we say that can get by the closed captioning? None was the answer. It caught all of them.
This is what you guys are doing with the meetings that I've planned for you with executives. Yes. So we now have an executive. So now we have an executive infrastructure. I cannot wait to tell our new bosses, hey, can you guys check out the captions? Are you guys fooling around with old
they
people?
Were there.
Yeah, Carl and Gary were playing along.
You should have heard what Skip said.
See you, Gary.